Turkey is a transcontinental country straddling Western Asia and Southeastern Europe. It is bordered on its northwest by Greece and Bulgaria, north by the Black Sea, northeast by Georgia, east by Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Iran, southeast by Iraq, south by Syria and the Mediterranean Sea, and west by the Aegean Sea. Approximately 70 to 80% of the country's citizens are ethnic Turks. Istanbul, which straddles Europe and Asia, is the country's largest city, while Ankara is the capital. One of the world's earliest permanently settled regions, present-day Turkey was home to important Neolithic sites, and was inhabited by various civilizations. Hellenization started in the area during the era of Alexander the Great and continued into the Byzantine era. The Seljuk Turks began migrating in the 11th century, and the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum ruled Anatolia until the Mongol invasion in 1243, when it disintegrated into small Turkish principalities. Beginning in the late 13th century, the Ottomans started uniting the principalities and conquering the Balkans, and the Turkification of Anatolia increased during the Ottoman period. After Mehmed II conquered Constantinople in 1453, Ottoman expansion continued under Selim I. During the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottoman Empire became a world power. From the late 18th century onwards, the empire's power declined with a gradual loss of territories and wars. In an effort to consolidate the weakening empire, Mahmud II started a period of modernization in the early 19th century. Here, today, I will show you 25 most beautiful destinations in Turkey. 25. Istanbul. Istanbul is the largest city in Turkey and the country's economic, cultural, and historic center. The city straddles the Bosphorus Strait and lies in both Europe and Asia, with a population of over 15 million residents, comprising 19% of the population of Turkey. Istanbul is the most populous city in Europe, and the world's 15th largest city. Founded as Byzantium by Megarian colonists in 660 BCE, and renamed as Constantinople in 330 CE, the city grew in size and influence, becoming a beacon of the Silk Road and one of the most important cities in history. It served as an imperial capital for almost 16 centuries, during the Roman/Byzantine, 330 to 1204, Latin, 1204 to 1261, Byzantine, 1261 to 1453, and Ottoman, 1453 to 1922, empires. It was instrumental in the advancement of Christianity during Roman and Byzantine times, before its transformation to an Islamic stronghold following the fall of Constantinople in 1453 CE. In 1923, after the Turkish War of Independence, Ankara replaced the city as the capital of the newly formed Republic of Turkey. In 1930, the city's name was officially changed to Istanbul, an appellation Greek speakers used since the 11th century to colloquially refer to the city. Over 13.4 million foreign visitors came to Istanbul in 2018, 8 years after it was named a European Capital of Culture, making the city the world's 5th most popular tourist destination. Istanbul is home to several UNESCO World Heritage Sites and hosts the headquarters of numerous Turkish companies, accounting for more than 30% of the country's economy. 24. Cappadocia. Cappadocia is a historical region in central Anatolia, largely in the Nevşehir, Kayseri, Kirsir, Aksaray, Malatya, Sivas and Nigda provinces in Turkey. Since the late 300s BCE, the name Cappadocia came to be restricted to the inland province, sometimes called Great Cappadocia, Upper Cappadocia, which alone will be the focus of this article. Lower Cappadocia is focused to elsewhere. According to Herodotus, in the time of the Ionian Revolt, for 99 BC, the Cappadocians were reported as occupying a region from Mount Taurus to the vicinity of the Euxine, Black Sea. Cappadocia, in this sense, was bounded in the south by the chain of the Taurus Mountains that separated from Cilicia, to the east by the upper Euphrates, to the north by Pontus, and to the west by Lycaonia and eastern Galatia. The name, traditionally used in Christian sources throughout history, continues in use as an international tourism concept to define a region of exceptional natural wonders, in particular characterized by fairy chimneys and a unique historical and cultural heritage. 23. Pamukkale. Pamukkale, meaning cotton castle in Turkish, is a natural site in Denizli province in southwestern Turkey. The area is famous for a carbonate mineral left by the flowing of thermal spring water. It is located in Turkey's inner Aegean region, in the river Menderes Valley, which has a temperate climate for most of the year. The ancient Greco-Roman city of Hierapolis was built on top of the Travertine Formation, which is in total about 2,700 meters, 8,860 feet, long, 600 meters 1,970 feet wide and 160 meters 525 feet high. It can be seen from the hills on the opposite side of the valley in the town of Denizli, 20 kilometers away. Known as Pamukkale, Cotton Castle, or Ancient Hierapolis, Holy City, this area has been drawing visitors to its thermal springs since the time of classical antiquity. The Turkish name refers to the surface of the shimmering, snow-white limestone, shaped over millennia by calcite-rich springs. Dripping slowly down the mountainside, mineral-rich waters collect in and cascade down the mineral terraces, into pools below. Legend has it that the formations are solidified cotton, the area's principal crop, that giants left out to dry. People have visited area for thousands of years, due to the attraction of the thermal pools. As recently as the mid-20th century, hotels were built over the ruins of Hierapolis, causing considerable damage. An approach road was built from the valley over the terraces, and motorbikes were allowed to go up and down the slopes. When the area was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the hotels were demolished and the road removed and replaced with artificial pools. There are well-preserved Roman ruins and a museum on site. A small footpath runs up the mountain face for visitors to use, however the Travertine terraces are all off-limits, having suffered damage, erosion and water pollution due to tourism. It was added as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1988 with Hierapolis. 22. Antalya. Antalya is the fifth most populous city in Turkey and the capital of Antalya province. Located on Anatolia's southwest coast bordered by the Taurus Mountains, Antalya is the largest Turkish city on the Mediterranean coast outside the Aegean region with over 1 million people in its metropolitan area. The city that is now Antalya was first settled around 200 BC by the Attalid dynasty of Pergamon, which was soon subdued by the Romans. Roman rule saw Antalya thrive, including the construction of several new monuments, such as Hadrian's Gate, and the proliferation of neighboring cities. The city has changed hands several times, including to the Selçuk Sultanate in 1207, and an expanding Ottoman Empire in 1391. Ottoman rule brought relative peace and stability for the next 500 years. The city was transferred to Italian suzerainty in the aftermath of World War I, but was recaptured by a newly independent Turkey in the War of Independence. Antalya is Turkey's biggest international sea resort, located on the Turkish Riviera. Large-scale development and governmental funding has promoted tourism. A record 13.6 million tourists passed through the city in 2019. 21. Bosphorus. Bosphorus is a narrow, natural strait and an internationally significant waterway located in northwestern Turkey. It forms part of the continental boundary between Europe and Asia, and divides Turkey by separating Anatolia from Thrace. It is the world's narrowest strait used for international navigation. The Bosphorus connects the Black Sea with the Sea of Marmara, and, by extension via the Dardanelles, the Aegean and Mediterranean seas, and by the Kerch Strait, the Sea of Azov. Most of the shores of the strait, except for those in the north, are heavily settled, straddled by the city of Istanbul's metropolitan population of 17 million inhabitants extending inland from both coasts. Together with the Dardanelles, the Bosphorus forms the Turkish Straits. 20. Bodrum. Bodrum is a district and a port city in Mugla province, in the southwestern Aegean region of Turkey. It is located on the southern coast of Bodrum Peninsula, at a point that checks the entry into the Gulf of Gokova, and is also the center of the eponymous district. The city was called Halicarnassus of Korea in ancient times, and was famous for housing the Mausoleum of Mausolus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Built by the Knights Hospitaller in the 15th century, Bodrum Castle overlooks the harbor and the marina. The castle includes a museum of underwater archaeology and hosts several cultural festivals throughout the year. The city had a population of 36,317 in 2012. It takes 50 minutes viaduct boat to reach Kos from Bodrum, with services running multiple times a day by at least 3 operators. 19. Kuşadası. Kuşadası is a large resort town on Turkey's Aegean coast, and the center of the seaside district of the same name within Aydın province. Kuşadası is 95 kilometers 59 miles south of İzmir, and about 60 kilometers 37 miles from Aydın. The municipality's primary industry is tourism. The city is situated along a gulf of the same name in the Aegean. The island of Gubersanata, in English, Pigeon Island, is connected to mainland Kuşadası by a man-made causeway, and is situated adjacent to the large hill of Kiez Dağ near the center of town. It is located 95 kilometers 59 miles south of İzmir, the area's metropolitan center, and approximately 60 to 70 kilometers 37 to 43 miles in driving distance from the provincial seat of Aydın, depending on the route taken. Its neighbors are Selçuk to the north, Germansik to the northeast, and Sok to the east and south. 18. Marmaris. Marmaris is a port city and tourist resort on the Mediterranean coast, located in Muğla province, southwest Turkey, along the shoreline of the Turkish Riviera. Marmaris' main source of income is tourism. It is located between 2 intersecting sets of mountains by the sea, though following a construction boom in the 1980s, little is left of the sleepy fishing village that Marmaris was until the late 20th century. In 2010, the city's population was 30,957, and peaks at around 300,000 to 400,000 people during the tourist season. It is also a center for sailing and diving, possessing 2 major and several smaller marinas. It is a popular wintering location for hundreds of cruising boaters, being also served by the nearby Dalaman Airport. Marmaris has a hot summer Mediterranean climate, Köppen, CSA, characterized by a hot dry summers and mild rainy winters. Showers and rain are very unlikely between May and October. Summers are hot and dry, and temperatures are especially high during the heat waves in July and August. October is still warm and bright, though with spells of rain, and many tourists prefer to visit in the early autumn, especially in September, because the temperatures are not as hot. Winters are mild and wet. Winter is the rainy season, with major precipitation falling after November. The annual rainfall can reach to 1,232.7 millimeters, 531 in. The rainfall is concentrated during scattered days in winter, falling in heavy cloudbursts which cause flash floods sometimes in flood-prone areas. 17. Fethiye. Fethiye is a city and district of Muğla province in the Aegean region of Turkey. It is one of the prominent tourist destinations in the Turkish Riviera. In 2019, its population was 162,686. Modern Fethiye is located on the site of the ancient city of Telmessos, the ruins of which can be seen in the city, e.g. the Hellenistic theater by the main quay. A Lycian legend explains the source of the name Telmessos as follows. The god Apollo falls in love with the youngest daughter of the king of Phoenicia, Agenor. He disguises himself as a small dog and thus gains the love of the shy, withdrawn daughter. After he reappears as a handsome man, they have a son, who they name Telmessos, the land of lights. The city became part of the Persian Empire after the invasion of the Persian general Harpagos in 547 BC, along with other Lycian and Carian cities. Telmessos then joined the Attic Delos Union, Delian League, established in mid-5th century BC. And, although it later left the Union and became an independent city, it continued its relations with the Union until the 4th century BC. 16. Izmir. Izmir is a metropolitan city in the western extremity of Anatolia. It is the third most populous city in Turkey, after Istanbul and Ankara, and the second largest urban agglomeration on the Aegean Sea after Athens. In 2019, the city of Izmir had a population of 2,972,900, while Izmir province had a total population of 4,367,251. Izmir's metropolitan area extends along the outlying waters of the Gulf of Izmir and inland to the north across the Gediz River Delta, to the east along an alluvial plain created by several small streams, and to slightly more rugged terrain in the south. In classical antiquity, the city was known as Smyrna, a name which remained in use in English and various other languages until around 1930, when government efforts led the original Greek name, Greek, Sigma Muronueta, Romanized, Smyrni/Smyrn, to be gradually phased out internationally in favor of its Turkish counterpart Izmir. However, the historic name Smyrna is still used today in some languages, such as Armenian, Smyrnia, Italian, Smyrn, and Catalan, Portuguese, and Spanish, Esmirna. Smyrna has more than 3,000 years of recorded urban history, and up to 8,500 years of history as a human settlement since the Neolithic period. Lying on an advantageous location at the head of a gulf running down in a deep indentation, midway along the western Anatolian coast, it has been one of the principal mercantile cities of the Mediterranean Sea for much of its history. Izmir hosted the Mediterranean Games in 1971 and the World University Games, Universiade, in 2005. The city participated in Climathon in 2019. 15. Alanya. Alanya is a beach resort city and a district of Antalya province on the southern coast of Turkey, in the country's Mediterranean region, 138 kilometers, 86 miles, east of the city of Antalya. As of Turkey's 2010 census, the city had a population of 98,627, while the district that includes the city and its built-up region had an area of 1,598.51 square kilometers and 248,286 inhabitants. Because of its natural strategic position on a small peninsula into the Mediterranean Sea below the Taurus Mountains, Alanya has been a local stronghold for many Mediterranean-based empires, including the Ptolemaic, Seleucid, Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman empires. Alanya's greatest political importance came in the Middle Ages, with the Selçuk Sultanate of Rum under the rule of Aledin Kayqubadai, from whom the city derives its name. His building campaign resulted in many of the city's landmarks, such as the Kızıl Kule, Red Tower, Tersain, Shipyard, and Alanya Castle. The Mediterranean climate, natural attractions, and historic heritage make Alanya a popular destination for tourism, and responsible for 9% of Turkey's tourism sector and 30% of foreign purchases of real estate in Turkey. Tourism has risen since 1958 to become the dominant industry in the city, resulting in a corresponding increase in city population. Warm weather sporting events and cultural festivals take place annually in Alanya. In 2014, Mayor Adam Murat Yücel, of the Nationalist Movement Party, unseated Hasan Sipahayoglu, of the Justice and Development Party, who had previously led the city since 1999. 14. Ankara. Ankara is the capital of Turkey. Located in the central part of Anatolia, the city has a population of 4.5 million in its urban center, and over 5.6 million in Ankara province, making it Turkey's second largest city after Istanbul. Serving as the capital of the ancient Celtic state of Galatia, 280 to 64 BC, and later of the Roman province with the same name, 25 BC, 7th century, the city is very old with various Hattian, Hittite, Lydian, Phrygian, Galatian, Greek, Persian, Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman archaeological sites. The Ottomans made the city the capital first of the Anatolia Eyalet, 1393, late 15th century, and then the Angora Vilayet, 1867 to 1922. The historical center of Ankara is a rocky hill rising 150 meters 500 feet over the left bank of the Ankara River, a tributary of the Sakarya River. The hill remains crowned by the ruins of Ankara Castle. Although few of its outworks have survived, there are well-preserved examples of Roman and Ottoman architecture throughout the city, the most remarkable being the 20 BC Temple of Augustus and Rome that boasts the Monumentum Ancyranum, the inscription recording the residential Gesti Divi Augusti. On April 23, 1920, the Grand National Assembly of Turkey was established in Ankara, which became the headquarters of the Turkish national movement during the Turkish War of Independence. Ankara became the new Turkish capital upon the establishment of the Republic on October 29, 1923, succeeding in this role the former Turkish capital Istanbul, Constantinople, following the fall of the Ottoman Empire. The government is a prominent employer, but Ankara is also an important commercial and industrial city, located at the center of Turkey's road and railway networks. The city gave its name to the Angora wool shorn from Angora rabbits, the long-haired Angora goat, the source of mohair, and the Angora cat. The area is also known for its pears, honey and muscat grapes. Although situated in one of the driest regions of Turkey and surrounded mostly by steppe vegetation, except for the forested areas on the southern periphery, Ankara can be considered a green city in terms of green areas per inhabitant at 72 square meters, 775 square feet per head. 13. Golden Horn. Golden Horn is a major urban waterway and the primary inlet of the Bosphorus in Istanbul, Turkey. As a natural estuary that connects with the Bosphorus Strait at the point where the strait meets the Sea of Marmara, the waters of the Golden Horn help define the northern boundary of the peninsula constituting Old Istanbul, ancient Byzantium and Constantinople, the tip of which is the promontory of Saray-Burnu, or Siralyo Point. This estuarial inlet geographically separates the historic center of Istanbul from the rest of the city, and forms a horn-shaped, sheltered harbor that in the course of history has protected Greek, Roman, Byzantine, Ottoman and other maritime trade ships for thousands of years. While the reference to a horn is understood to refer to the inlet's aerial silhouette, the significance of the designation golden remains more obscure, with historians believing it to refer to either the riches brought into the city through the bustling historic harbor located along its shores, or to romantic artistic interpretations of the rich yellow light blazing upon the estuary's waters as the sun sets over the city. Its Greek and English names mean the same, while its Turkish name, Haliç, simply means estuary, and derives from the Arabic word Khalij, meaning gulf. Throughout its history, the Golden Horn has witnessed many tumultuous historical incidents, and has been depicted in numerous works of art. 12. Side. Side is a city on the southern Mediterranean coast of Turkey. It includes the modern resort town and the ruins of the ancient city of Side, one of the best-known classical sites in the country. It lies near Manavgat and the village of Selimay, 78 kilometers from Antalya in the province of Antalya. It is located on the eastern part of the Pamphylian coast, which lies about 20 kilometers east of the mouth of the Eurymedon River. Today, as in antiquity, the ancient city is situated on a small north-south peninsula, about 1 kilometer long and 400 m across. Pseudo-Silax, Strabo and Aryan record that Side was founded by Greek settlers from Syme and Aeolis, a region of western Anatolia. This most likely occurred in the 7th century BC. Its tutelary deity was Athena, whose head adorned its coinage. Dating from the 10th century BC, its coinage bore the head of Athena, the patroness of the city, with a legend. Its people, a piratical horde, quickly forgot their own language to adopt that of the Aborigines. 11. Selçuk. Selçuk is the central town of Selçuk district, İzmir province in Turkey, 2 kilometers, 1 mile, northeast of the ancient city of Ephesus. Its original Greek name, Agios Theologos, Gamma Iota Omicron Theta Epsilon Omicron Lambda Gamma Omicron, referred to John the Theologian, because Emperor Justinian had erected there a basilica in honor of the saint. Ayasaluk is a corrupted form of the original name. In the 14th century, it was the capital of the Beylik of Aden, and visited by Ibn Battuta. He noted, "The Congregational Mosque in this city is one of the most magnificent mosques in the world and unequaled in beauty." Under the Ottoman Empire, it was known as Ayasaluk. In 1914, it was renamed Selçuk after the Seljuk Turks who first led incursions into the region in the 12th century. It was a township in Kuşadası district till 1957, when it became a district itself. Its neighbors are Torbali from north, Tyre from northeast, Germansik from east, Kuşadası from south, Aegean Sea from west and Menderes, formerly Kumavesi, from northwest. Selçuk is one of the most visited tourist destinations within Turkey, known for its closeness to the ancient city of Ephesus, House of the Virgin Mary and Seljuk works of art. The 6th century Basilica of St. John the Apostle, which, some claim, is built on the site of the Apostle's tomb, is also inside the town. Procopius said that the basilica was a most sacred and honored place in Ephesus. It was severely damaged in the invasion of Seljuk Turks in 1090. The place was excavated in 1927, and Pope Paul VI paid it a visit and prayed there. In 1921, after the capture of the village by the Greek forces, the village had a total population of 600, ethnographically consisting of 580 Greeks, 10 Turks and 10 Armenians. 10. Konya. Konya is a major city in south-central Turkey, on the southwestern edge of the central Anatolian plateau, and is the 7th most populous city in Turkey with a metropolitan population of over 2.2 million. Konya is a large and industrially developed city, and the capital of Konya province. The Konya region has been inhabited since the 3rd millennium BC. Known as Iconium during classical antiquity, the city was ruled successively by the Phrygian, Persian, Hellenistic and Roman civilizations. In the 11th century the Seljuk Turks conquered the area from the Byzantines, and Konya then became the capital of the Sultanate of Rum. Under the Seljuks, the city reached the height of its wealth and influence. Following the demise of Rum, Konya came under the rule of the Karamanids, before being taken over by the Ottoman Empire in the 15th century. After the Turkish War of Independence the city became part of the modern Republic of Turkey. 9. Avanos. Avanos is a town and district of Nevşehir province in the central Anatolia region of Turkey, located 18 kilometers 11 miles north of Nevşehir, the capital city of the province. It is situated within the historic and tourist region of Cappadocia. According to 2000 census, population of the district is 35,145, of which 12,288 live in the town of Avanos. The district covers an area of 994 square kilometers 384 square miles, and the average elevation is 920 meters 3,018 feet, with the highest point being Mt Ismail Sivrisi at 1,756 meters 5,761 feet. The old city of Avanos, whose name in ancient times was Vanessa, overlooks the longest river of Turkey, the Kızılırmak, Red River, which also separates Avanos from the rest of Cappadocia. The most famous historical feature of Avanos, which is still relevant and very visible today, is its production of earthenware pottery. It is also the most economic activity in the town. The ceramic trade in this district and its countless pottery factories date right back to the Hittites, and the ceramic clay from the red silt of the Kızılırmak has always been used. It is a popular destination because of its attractive old town with cobbled streets and views over the river. 8. Safranbolu. Safranbolu is a town and district of Karabakh province in the Black Sea region of Turkey. It is about 9 kilometers north of the city of Karabakh, 200 kilometers, 120 miles, north of Ankara, and about 100 kilometers south of the Black Sea coast. The town's historic names in Greek were Theodoropoulos and later Safranpolis. Its former names in Turkish were Zalafer and Tarakliberlu. It was part of Kastamonu province until 1923 and Zonguldak province between 1923 and 1995. According to the 2000 census, the population of the district was 47,257, of which 31,697 lived in the town of Safranbolu. The district covers an area of 1,000 square kilometers, 386 square miles, and the town lies at an elevation of 485 meters, 1,591 feet. According to the Ottoman General Census of 1881/82-1893, the Kaza of Safranbolu had a total population of 52,523, consisting of 49,197 Muslims and 3,326 Greeks. The Old Town preserves many historic buildings, with 1,008 registered historical artifacts. These are 1 private museum, 25 mosques, 5 tombs, 8 historical fountains, 5 Turkish baths, 3 caravanserais, 1 historical clock tower, 1 sundial, and hundreds of houses and mansions. Also, there are mounds of ancient settlements, rock tombs, and historical bridges. The Old Town is situated in a deep ravine in a fairly dry area in the rain shadow of the mountains. The new town can be found on the plateau about 2 kilometers west of the Old Town. 7. Manavgat. Manavgat is a town and district of the Antalya province in Turkey, 72 kilometers 45 miles from the city of Antalya. The Manavgat River has a waterfall near the town. Between the Taurus Mountains to the north and the sandy beaches of the Mediterranean coast, much of the district is surrounded by a flat plain. This is mostly fertile farmland, and agriculture is well developed in Manavgat, keeping livestock and growing crops including grains, sesame, and many fruits and vegetables. In recent years, olives have also been planted. There is no industry except for food processing, so apart from agriculture, the local economy depends on tourism. The mountains are covered with forests and typical Mediterranean shrubs. There are small plains higher in the mountains too, traditionally used for summer grazing by the Yurok nomads. Manavgat has a Mediterranean climate of hot, dry summers and warm, wet winters. The temperature rarely drops to freezing. The district is irrigated by the Manavgat River and has 2 dams for hydroelectric power. In 2001, plans began to export water from these reservoirs to Israel and other Mediterranean countries including Malta and Cyprus. As of 2006, these plans are on hold. 6. Edirne. Edirne is a city in the northwestern Turkish province of Edirne in the region of East Thrace, close to Turkey's borders with Greece and Bulgaria. Edirne served as the 3rd capital city of the Ottoman Empire from 1369 to 1453, before Constantinople, present-day Istanbul, became the empire's 4th and final capital between 1453 and 1922. The city's estimated population in 2019 was 185,408. The area around Edirne has been the site of numerous major battles and sieges, from the days of the Roman Empire. The vagaries of the border region between Asia and Europe gives rise to Edirne's historic claim to be the most frequently contested spot on the globe. The city was refounded eponymously by the Roman Emperor Hadrian on the site of a previous Thracian settlement known as Uskudama, or Uskudama. Hadrian developed it, adorned it with monuments, changed its name to Hadrianopolis, which would be corrupted into Adrianopolis, anglicized as Adrianople. Licinius was defeated there by Constantine I in 323, and Emperor Valens was killed by the Goths in 378 during the Battle of Adrianople, 378. 5. Mardin. Mardin is a city in southeastern Turkey. The capital of Mardin province, it is known for the Artukid architecture of its old city, and for its strategic location on a rocky hill near the Tigris River that rises steeply over the flat plains. The old town of the city is under the protection of UNESCO, which forbids new constructions to preserve its facade. Demographically, a 2013 study showed that although Kurds are the provincial majority, within the city itself the population is split evenly between Kurds and Arabs. Historically, as a rich cultural hub with traces from Muslim, Syriac, Yaqubi, Chaldean, Nesturi, Yazidi, Jewish, Kurdish, Arab, Chechen, and Armenian influences, Mardin has been promoted as an open-air museum. 4. İçmeler. İçmeler is a popular Turkish holiday resort situated 8 kilometers southwest of Marmaris. It is also a municipality of its own. İçmeler Bay is located on the Datça Peninsula. The town is surrounded on 3 sides by pine forests. Hiking on the mountains is very popular and provides fantastic views of the region. Pronounced in English approximately like /İçmeler/. The town has developed rapidly over the last 15 years, with accommodation and other tourist facilities mushrooming across the formerly sleepy fishermen's and sponge divers village. As a side to the increasing tourism, this resort in the Turkish Riviera is seeing an increasing amount of water sports facilities, such as scuba diving and water skiing. The town developed on the back of tourists seeking a quieter alternative to the overdeveloped city of Marmaris. Nightlife is rather scarce in İçmeler. Restaurants and pubs usually feature live music, shows and acts until around midnight. After this time, the only entertainment available is generally the nightclubs. Many tourists enjoy the variation in entertainment, starting in the restaurants in the early evening, moving on to the pubs and mini discos until midnight, and then followed by the nightclubs anywhere up to 4 a.m. Directly across the bay from İçmeler is the busy port of Marmaris, which also gives its name to the region. Marmara, historically Murm, is the name for marble, which Turkey has in abundance. Whilst loved by tourists for the shopping, especially fake designer brands and watches, prices in İçmeler have increased in recent years. However, the town continues to compare favorably with the neighboring resort of Marmaris, and is especially favorable when compared to the Eurozone. 3. Demre. Demre is a town and its surrounding district in the Antalya province on the Mediterranean coast of Turkey, named after the river Demre. Demre is the Lycian town of Myra, the home of Saint Nicholas of Myra. The district was known as Kale until it was renamed in 2005. A majority of Christian Greeks lived in Demre, Myra, until the 1920s when they migrated to Greece as part of the 1923 population exchange between Greece and Turkey agreement. The abandoned Greek villages in the region are a striking reminder of this exodus. Abandoned Greek houses can still be seen at Demre and the regions of Kalkan, Kas and Kayaköy, which is a Greek ghost town. A small population of Turkish farmers moved into the region when the Greeks migrated to Greece. The region is popular with tourists today, particularly Christian pilgrims who visit the tomb of Saint Nicholas. 2. Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia is a late antique place of worship in Istanbul, designed by the Greek geometers Isidore of Miletus and Anthemius of Tralles. Built in 537 as the patriarchal cathedral of the imperial capital of Constantinople, it was the largest Christian church of the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, and the Eastern Orthodox Church, except during the Latin Empire from 1204 to 1261, when it became the city's Roman Catholic cathedral. In 1453, after the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire, it was converted into a mosque. In 1935, the secular Turkish Republic established it as a museum. In 2020, it reopened as a mosque. Built by the Eastern Roman Emperor Justinian I as the Christian Cathedral of Constantinople for the State Church of the Roman Empire between 532 and 537, the church was then the world's largest interior space, and among the first to employ a fully pendentive dome. It is considered the epitome of Byzantine architecture and is said to have changed the history of architecture. The present Justinianic building was the third church of the same name to occupy the site, the prior one having been destroyed in the Nika riots. Being the episcopal see of the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople, it remained the world's largest cathedral for nearly 1,000 years, until Seville Cathedral was completed in 1520. Beginning with subsequent Byzantine architecture, Hagia Sophia became the paradigmatic Orthodox church form, and its architectural style was emulated by Ottoman mosques 1,000 years later. It has been described as holding a unique position in the Christian world, an architectural and cultural icon of Byzantine and Eastern Orthodox civilization. 1. Grand Bazaar. Grand Bazaar. The Grand Bazaar in Istanbul is one of the largest and oldest covered markets in the world, with 61 covered streets and over 4,000 shops on a total area of 30,700 square meters, attracting between 250,000 and 400,000 visitors daily. In 2014, it was listed No. 1 among the world's most visited tourist attractions with 91,250,000 annual visitors. The Grand Bazaar at Istanbul is often regarded as one of the first shopping malls of the world. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to get more video.